For the past 30 years, Pizza Hut Hawaii has remained steadfast in its support of literacy in the islands. We're proud of our Book It program, which incentivizes grade school kids to read. And thanks to your support of our Pizza Hut Literacy Card, we've raised over $3 million to fund numerous programs throughout the state. Reading stimulates creativity, enhances critical thinking, and strengthens our language skills. It is truly the foundation of learning. Today, it gives me great pleasure to present Read to Live, an ensemble of interesting interviews, touching stories, and people passionate about literacy. Through it all, the message rings clear. Reading enriches our lives and empowers us to achieve our dreams. Aloha.
Aloha Hawaii, I'm Kimo Kahuana. And with me, the ever-lovely Carol Kai.
Oh, thank you, Kimo. Welcome to a very special edition of Hawaii Stars, Read to Live. In this half hour, we'll discuss the importance of reading, the effects it has on our daily lives, and the importance of reading to our children.
Reading is really, it's the fundamental basis for everything that we do in life that's really important outside of loving one another.
Pick up a book and read, because by taking this first step, you know, you really, I mean, it sounds so cliche, but you really are opening the door to a bigger experience, a bigger world, a bigger perspective.
I think reading is essential to being a responsible human being, but I also think it's essential to being an enjoyable human being.
Pizza Hut Hawaii's Best proudly presents a Hawaii Stars special, Read to Live, sponsored by AIG Hawaii. Discover the AIG Advantage. Castle Medical Center, exceptional medicine by exceptional people. E.K. Fernandez Shows, entertaining Hawaii's families for 106 years. And University of Hawaii Federal Credit Union, we belong to you.
What's happening in your neighborhood? Find out at myadvertiser.com. It's where to go for stories about the people, places, and great events in your area. You can share news and photos too. Get to know your community at myadvertiser.com.
September is Hunger Action Month nationwide.
Here in Hawaii, the need for food has never been higher.
That's why AIG Hawaii has teamed up with the Hawaii Food Bank, Lanakila Meals on Wheels, and the River of Life mission to help drive out hunger in Hawaii.
Your food and monetary donations are needed now, more than ever.
To find out how you can help, go to AIGHawaii.com. Together, we can drive out hunger in Hawaii.
What is Pizza Hut's 2-for-1 literacy card all about? Free pizza. Every time you buy a carry-out pizza, you get a second pizza free. Good for 1 year. Take advantage of the 2-for-1 literacy card. Just $10 at your Kama'aina Pizza Hut.
Pan pizza's great, but put a ring of cheese in the crust and jackpot.
Introducing Pizza Hut's new stuffed crust pan pizza. Your favorite pan pizza with a jackpot of melted cheese in the crust. A large one topping is just $15.99. Pizza Hut, Hawaii's favorite for pizza, pasta, and wings.
This segment of Read to Live is brought to you by E.K. Fernandez Shows, entertaining Hawaii's families for 106 years. Welcome back to Hawaii Stars Read to Live. Kimo, 1 in 5 adults in Hawaii today are functionally illiterate, which means that they read at 5th grade levels or below.
Yes, Carol. And there is a linked cycle between poverty and low literacy rates. That's why it's so important that parents make the time and read to their kids.
You know, one of the most significant and influencing factors of a young child's success in school is being read to and gaining the appreciation and the love of books.
When a child is read aloud to, he gains self-esteem and worth, because anybody being read to can feel the specialness that takes place, because it's an intimate situation between the reader and the child. But in addition to that, when a child is read to, they understand the meaning of story, and later on in life, when they become readers, we know that comprehension is an important phase of being a successful reader.
The importance of reading also carries with it sound. And for a young child, they're beginning to learn about their world. And even though we're speaking, they don't know what that means yet. And so to connect up a word with a particular activity, they encourage the child to listen and then to see how the word is formed with the mouth so that they'll be able to visually see and also have the audio so they'll be able to hear what these words are. And then it makes that little click, a connection, and it lights up the world. That's their aha moment. They understand what these little squiggly lines on the page mean.
Reading is the first step they would take to learn things, because books are like a door to knowledge and information.
It is the foundation for everything in life regarding math, English, every subject in school. And it makes them a well-versed person in the world, gives them a foundation.
In fact, research also indicates that when children are read to, by the time they go to school, they will probably have between 3 and 4 times the amount of words in their vocabulary than a child who is not read to. So right there, you know that they're having a wonderful head start in life. The more that children are read to, the longer that they can sit through, and so their attention span increases as they're read to. So that's another benefit that a child receives.
When you allow kids to read a wide variety of stories and other kinds of materials, I think we offer our kids a view of the world that continues to let them see multiple perspectives.
I think it's important for a child to read because it opens up like a whole new world for them, and they build their self-confidence because they know they can read on their own, and they learn so much. And as a teacher, I can see those students who can read, they do well in every subject, in social studies, science, math, and it's not just in language arts, it's just overall. It'll help boost their achievement everywhere.
It's very important because it develops their brain activity, and also they will start to recognize things earlier. And I noticed that my little girl has learned a lot from coming to the library often, because now she can read to her little brother.
Oh, the benefits are priceless. How can you even measure or put a price on somebody's self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, their level of confidence and competence to pursue their personal and professional goals? It's priceless. It opens new doors, it gives them new opportunities and experiences that they never had before. So reading is a very powerful thing, and applying it is even more powerful.
Kimo, we should all make the effort to spend time with our children and read to them. Something so simple will be the greatest gift we could ever give them.
When we come back, a tragic story of Asa Yamashita, the woman who helped change the reading culture on the Waianae coast.
Here's a wonderful group that supports reading in Hawaii.
The mission of the Friends of the Library of Hawaii is to help support and promote Hawaii's public libraries. Through the funds that we raise through our 2 fundraising vehicles, one being Links and one being the book sale, our annual book sale, we're able to provide grants to professionals of the library system to attend meetings and seminars. We also promote and conduct National Book Week, Children's Book Week, and we support all 51 public libraries throughout the state of Hawaii.
The UH Federal Credit Union is going green and would like to encourage you to do the same. As an incentive, we are offering our members a special low-interest green loan for the purchase of
a hybrid car, solar water heating,
double pane windows that help to save energy.
Contact the UH Federal Credit Union to learn more about our new low-interest green loan.
Our credit union believes in taking care of the environment for future generations. Let's go green.
Drive, determination, a
sense of purpose. Sometimes, to succeed in the workplace, all people need is a fair chance. And fairness is what we fought for 75 years. Hawaii Government Employees Association, 75 years of working together.
Everyone asks you what you're going to be. Maybe you don't know yet, but one thing is certain. When you attend a university that's ranked among the best in the nation, you're bound to go far. Hawaii Pacific University. Get where you want to go.
This segment of Read to Live is brought to you by Taco Bell. Spice it up, Hawaii. Welcome back to Hawaii Star's Read to Live. Asa Yamashita was a mother, teacher, and reading coach at Waianae High School until one tragic day.
On a sunny Friday afternoon at an Eva Beach shopping center, Asa Yamashita was stabbed to death in a random act of violence, ending the life of someone who made a difference in so many people's lives.
My wife is incredible. She just loved reading so much. It was one of her passions, and she just wanted to share it with everyone, her family, her children, her students, co-workers, everyone.
What Asa actually did on campus really was fuel excitement for those kinds of things, because she took her own personal passion and her own personal dedication towards the love of reading and promoting reading for kids.
She was known as the book lady, and she had a cart. And on the cart, she would wheel a whole bunch of books, different kinds of books, and go from class to class to do book talks.
And the fact that she knew it would make a big difference for kids, not just in reading, not just in test scores, but for them personally. If they could become better readers and feel confident about their ability in the classroom, she knew that that would create confidence in other areas.
I believe in my heart that she felt so strongly about reading that and it's universal. It's for everyone. It's for people of all ages from everywhere. Everyone can benefit from from reading more.
Asa will be missed by all those she touched, but her legacy will live on through the program she started at Waianae High School.
Another significant project, Read to Me International, created a program that helps Hawaii inmates read to their kids.
When I was at age 28, I became homeless and living on the streets. We were using drugs and selling drugs just to survive. Life was like, I would say, a living hell. I did a burglary one night in a house. This may sound funny, but I was hungry, and the first thing I hit was the ice box, and after that I took some small kind of items. I did three years. Then I got out for 9 months, and then I did another 3 years, and then now I'm out again.
One of our programs that was started in 2003 is our prison literacy program. It's a family literacy program that involves parents who are incarcerated in local Hawaii prisons, and they record stories for their children. They write a little note inside the cover of the book, and then the book and the recordings are sent home to their children. The fathers will come to us, they'll sign up. It's a totally voluntary program. They'll go through an orientation. They'll find out why it's important to read to their child. We pre-select a number of books that are age appropriate for different age groups. They are allowed to look through the books and pick one that they think that their child would enjoy, and then they record the book. When they first start out, sometimes they're just a little shy and they'll just read it straight, and there won't be much character or voice in it. But as they go along and after they get the hang of it, they're making special voices for one character and another character, and it's really nice to see how they develop over time.
The Read to Me program For us who took it seriously, it was an open door to our children, because we don't get to see them a lot, so just sending the recording and the book and the craft, and I guess they play it over and over and over and just hear our voices, and that's a real special bond, you know.
We'd like to thank Read to Me International for their efforts in making a difference in children's lives.
When we come back, 4 community leaders share their inspirational stories and passion for reading.
What is Pizza Hut's 2-for-1 literacy card all about? Free pizza. Every time you buy a carry-out pizza, you get a second pizza free. Good for 1 year. Take advantage of the 2-for-1 literacy card. Just $10 at your Kamaaina Pizza Hut.
Pan pizza's great, but put a ring of cheese in the crust and jackpot.
Introducing Pizza Hut's new stuffed crust pan pizza. Your favorite pan pizza with a jackpot of melted cheese in the crust. A large one topping is just $15.99. Pizza Hut, Hawaii's favorite for pizza, pasta, and wings.
What's happening in your neighborhood? Find out at myadvertiser.com. It's where to go for stories about the people, places, and great events in your area. You can share news and photos too. Get to know your community at myadvertiser.com.
Remember when you could run forever? Things are different now. Your joints just aren't what they used to be. That's why Castle Medical Center established Hawaii's first joint care center. Our dedicated caring team specializing in hip, knee, and shoulder replacement procedures and spinal surgery can get you moving again. You still won't be able to run forever, but at least now you can try. For day one and every day after, Castle Medical Center.
This segment of Read to Live is brought to you by Castle Medical Center. Exceptional medicine by exceptional people. Welcome back to Hawaii Stars Special Edition, Read to Live. We got a chance to talk with Governor Ben Cayetano, the Honolulu Advertiser's Lee Weber, author Lois Ann Yamanaka, and John Alves, Vice Chair of AIO Group.
They shared with us their stories about growing up and reading and how that led to their successes in life.
When I was growing up in Kalihi, I was raised by my father, single parent, and my father had a 3rd grade education. So at home, there wasn't much to read, you know, maybe the telephone book. That's about it. I can't even remember him subscribing to a newspaper. What really got me interested in reading were my teachers at first elementary school, then intermediate school, and then high school. I think I was in the 8th grade when we were assigned to do a book report. And I picked a book on the life of the famous lawyer, Clarence Darrow. And I got really interested, first of all, in him as a lawyer, but those kind of stories. Yeah, like most local guys, I write better than I speak. And I think that what reading does for a person, besides develop your skills of critical thinking, you know, when you read a novel, you try to understand what the writer is saying about the different characters and all that. That takes concentration and that takes thinking. Well, I wrote a memoir, and it took me 3.5 years to write it. My book has done very well. It's been #1 on the bestseller list for quite a while, and so I take some pride in that. And I think part of it is people tell me, the ones who have read my book, tell me, you know, your book is really easy reading because of your writing style. I can understand what you're saying, you know, much easier. So, no, my writing style came from a lot of reading.
Reading wasn't really a part of my life when I was younger, and I never realized why it wasn't a part of my life. But I never realized until I fought in Vietnam that my dad didn't read and write very well at all. In fact, during the whole time I was there, he only wrote to me one time. And his letter was very difficult for me to read, and I can imagine it was even more difficult for him to write because he didn't write. He used to have my mother read things to him, and I remember that. He would say, Mom, read this to me, and he'd hand her the paper. And I used to wonder why my dad would get so frustrated. And he would get frustrated because he couldn't read. One of the things you learn is that if you communicate on paper, It takes the body language out of it, and so you have to be very succinct. And as Twain said, the difference between the right word and the almost right word is like the difference between lightning and a lightning bug. What you say on paper is very powerful, and you can't take it back. I think that the people who structured our nation, the Jeffersons and the Madisons, believed that because they made it a public policy that newspapers were an integral part of a free society. And that public policy involved special postal rates for newspapers. It involves contract printing for newspapers. It involved the mandatory publication of legal advertising in general, newspapers of general circulation. So rather than a business model, newspapers were developed and supported by a matter of public policy in our history of our nation.
You know, before I moved to Hilo, we lived in Pahala. And in Pahala, during those days, there wasn't any cable, so we had one TV station. It was barely that. We had the antenna with the tinfoil on top. And then you had only, so you had nothing to do. And the library was the center of the activities. Like, you could go there and see free vampire movies at night. And so we used to go to the library a lot. And then, in those days, we read a lot of Beverly Cleary and then S.E. Hinton and books like that. So there were series, just like kids have the series today, but none of the series were about Hawaii, or there wasn't anything that was written about being a young person growing up in Hawaii. For me, it's bittersweet, the memory of reading as a kid, because until you see yourself in literature, you don't exist. And that was told to me by Darrell Lum, who's another, who's a famous local writer, and he writes his work in Pidgin. And that was real heavy for me, because then I cried, because it's true. You don't exist until you see yourself in the written word. That's how powerful reading is. There was an author from Kohala, her name is Ruth Tabra, and she wrote a book called Hawaiian Heart, and later on she wrote a book called The Red Shark. But these books had characters with Japanese names. They were viable plantation Japanese people who were real people. They weren't like monosyllabic grunting Asians. They were full-bodied families like my own family. And I was really, I was so taken with the work. I read the book over and over and over, because that was all that I had. Parents should read to their children stories in which their children's lives are depicted. So to me, it's really important what kinds of books you read to your children.
Well, I always read when I was a small kid, and my grandfather one day gave me a book called The Broad Highway by Geoffrey Farnell. He sat down and read it to me. It was just such a joy that when I finished that book, I couldn't wait to go to the library to get Mysterious Island or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. What reading really gives me is a sense of perspective, a sense of joy, a sense of understanding of other people. Pacific Basin Communication has a mission to produce high-quality magazines that reach a variety of audiences here in Hawaii, enriching their lives and giving them the kinds of information that they need to help them be more effective in whatever it is they do. Reading magazines enhances our lives.
These incredible stories by our distinguished community leaders gave us the inspiration for today's young readers.
When we come back, some final thoughts.